What's up, you guys? Welcome to the Mango Grove. My name is Krisha, and without further ado, let's jump right into Bitcoin. As many of you guys know, Sean and I have been away. We were on vacation on the beach, sipping on mojitos, margaritas, pina coladas, all of that good stuff. We've come back with a tan. However, we are ready to hit the ground running. Now, what's nice was that while we were away, Bitcoin didn't really do much now. It was just a whole lot of sideways action, essentially giving us time to enjoy. So that was good. However, guys, with that being said, this week is going to be a rather important week for the markets as a whole. Okay, so not just the crypto space, but I am also talking about traditional here. And why is that? Well, we have two key events coming up this week. The first one comes in tomorrow, where we have the CPI data that gets released. As you can see here, December 13th is the date. Okay, so tomorrow we get the new fresh CPI data that comes out. Now, this is an important number because this essentially gives the market a gauge on where inflation is at. Okay, this is what Jay Powell has been coming out with on a monthly basis, saying that, hey, we want to get inflation under control. Okay, so this number is going to be a very, very important determinant in that, where is inflation right now? Is it going up? Is it going down? So that's why people are hooked on the CPI numbers that come out every month. So now this is the first event that takes place tomorrow. The second event comes in on December 14th, so the very next day after tomorrow. And that is what? That is the FOMC meeting. People have been hanging on to every word that comes out of Jay Powell's mouth. He has been using the tool of forward guidance to guide the market to a desired outcome. Okay, that they have all sort of laid out. So as you can see here, I'm currently on the federalreserve.gov website. Wednesday, December 14th is the day to mark on your calendars. The FOMC meeting takes place at 2 p.m. Now, on today's agenda, guys, I essentially want to talk about price action, which is not doing much right now, but I want to talk about price action in relation to these events and what to really expect from the chart, specifically Bitcoin. Okay, so that is going to be, the agenda of today's video. Now, before I begin, I want to implore you guys to smash that like button if you haven't already done so. But hey, if you want to wait until the end of the video to see if you derive any value from here, then by all means, that's up to you. You can wait till the end. Okay, I think that's pretty reasonable. Now, I first want to start off with, price action. Okay, so now this is what Bitcoin's daily looks like. The first thing I noticed on this chart is that volatility, guys, has dried out completely. In fact, to show you guys just how much volatility has died down, I want to take you guys on over to the Mango dashboard very quickly. As you can see here, I'm currently on the daily time frame on the dashboard. Coins across the board. I want you to notice this volatility indicator, which is the third last row right here. Okay, it is all blue, guys, in single digits for the most part. Bitcoin's volatility is sitting at 0. Now, why is this important? Because usually when volatility compresses to this extent, we can expect the next impulsive move to come to us. Now, I usually like looking at the dashboard in this instance because the dashboard gives us the trends, right? I usually err to the side of the trend. Right now, Bitcoin's trend on the daily time frame is telling us that Bitcoin is long. Long equals bullish. However, I will be waiting on additional confirmations to take that positional trade to the upside. Okay, right now I just have my spot positions open. I was on vacation, so no leverage long positions just yet. All right, so now that we know that Bitcoin's volatility is compressed to these super, super low levels, however, the trend on the daily time frame is still telling us that it is bullish. I want to go and look for additional set of confirmations. Now, like I said, we'll be using the news that comes out this week in addition to price action. If you had to really ask me to rate them in order as to, okay, what's the most important, what's the least important, I'm saying the most important is always going to be price action. However, one thing about price action is that the catalyst, okay, even if it is a piece of news, guys, a catalyst is all it takes to switch this trend to the upside. Okay, so even if the catalyst could be the FOMC meeting, could be CPI data, it is going to still be an important sort of push for price action. So let's start with that. Okay, so now tomorrow we have the CPI data that comes out. Just to show you guys what came out last month. Okay, so now this was the CPI data that came out last month, which came in at around 7.7%. Now, guys, the markets actually rallied on this number because I want you guys to notice these three columns here. It says actual, forecast, and previous. Okay, now people had forecasted last month that, hey, CPI data is going to come out at only 8%. But what happened instead? The actual number with all the data combined, and when it was released, the data came out lower than the forecast. CPI came out instead at 7.7%, so 0.3% under than what was forecasted. Now, guys, this was important. The markets actually rallied on this data because CPI is a reflection of inflation. And for those of you who've been following the FOMC meetings, you guys know that Jay Powell's primary agenda is to get inflation under control. Inflation has run rampant across the country. And that's why he's been so adamant in increasing rates. All right, so all of this ties in together. He also is looking at this data. So when the data came out under expectations, that is basically telling the world that, hey, inflation is coming back into control. So now with that said, if tomorrow this actual print right here comes in at anything less than or equal to the forecast of 7.3%, that is going to be a bullish print for the market. Last time we got a bullish print, we got actual lower than the forecast, the markets rallied from there. Now, of course, I wouldn't position just based on this. I always implore you guys to go and back it up with some TA. So now let's get into the charts to see if there's any TA telling us that the markets could rally tomorrow. Okay, so now right off the bat, like I'd mentioned earlier in the beginning of the video, the freaking volatility has died down to almost nothing. Dashboard is telling us the volatility is 0. However, I'm going to tell you under what parameters I will be looking for Bitcoin to actually pump from here. Okay, so now right off the bat, as far as ranges is concerned, we're still oscillating between 17.3K going all the way down to 15.9K. That is still very much our range of oscillation as far as Bitcoin is concerned. Now, I will be expecting this market to rally further. I will be expecting Bitcoin to rally further if we actually start closing daily candles over 17.3K. Keep it simple, stupid. All right, don't get too cute with your levels. If your levels are working, keep them, follow them, because chances are they are likely the most profitable ones. If your system is telling you that, hey, you are better off just sitting on your hands and waiting and not rushing into trades, just listen to your system. All right, half this game is about knowing when to just sit on your hands and do nothing. Alrighty, so for me, the conditional trade to the upside is going to be if Bitcoin actually penetrates 17.3K. I'm looking for 2 consecutive daily closes over $17,310. For those of you who want to take note of those numbers, go ahead and do so. Okay, but that is going to be the conditional sort of level that I look for in order to be like, okay, you know what, Bitcoin is looking bullish. One thing to support this is if I take you on over to the 12-hour time frame, put on my Mango Dynamic Indicator, you can see that price has been hugging that dynamic. Every time we come down to give it a test, we've seen a nice swift bounce off that region. Now, this is the second time that we're coming down to give that dynamic a test ever since we started a trend on that. Okay, so I'll be looking for price to hold that region as support. I do believe we break down further if we actually lose that dynamic level to the downside. So now, once again, candle close. Always wait on the candle close. I cannot tell you guys just how many times I've lost out on a good position, and in some instances also taken unnecessary losses because I jumped the gun, only because I failed to wait on candle close. So candle close is going to be very important. The level that I'm looking for Bitcoin to break to anticipate further downside from here, I'm looking for it to break this level right here, okay? The bottom of the dynamic cloud, which comes in at around, what is this level? $16,839. All right, if you want to go ahead and mark that out as support, go ahead and do so. $16,839 will take Bitcoin to the next sort of region of support. I do believe that the next region only comes in at 16.2K. It's going to be more of a range than a solid level. So this is the range that I'm looking at right now. Okay, 16.2K going all the way down to 15.9K, which is the lows right there. This would technically also sit in line with this M-like formation breaking down. For those of you who do not see the M, this right here is the M-like formation. The region here that marks out the bottom of the Mango dynamic also is marks out the neckline of the M-like formation, so that is convenient. However, if I go ahead and take the measured move of the M, alrighty, and plot it on the break. If it breaks, please note that this has not come to fruition yet. This pattern has not triggered just yet, but this too will take us down to that 16.2K region. Now, of course, this is the bearish aspect of things. Let's talk about the bullish aspect of things. Now, if tomorrow CPI data, let's go ahead and bring that up again, comes in at anything less than or equal to 7.3K, that would be a bullish print for the market. In addition to that, note that we do have the FOMC meeting that comes out day after tomorrow on the 14th, and I have some really cool data to show you guys. Okay, now this is something that I brought up in one of my previous videos, but this right here is the Fed watch tool. This is by the CME group. Now, essentially what you're seeing on my chart, on my screen right now, is, well, what are people saying? What are people sort of forecasting? Do they think that the Fed will increase rates by 50 basis points or 75 basis points as they have been doing now for months on end? That has been like the stable sort of rate increase, right? 75 basis points. For those of you who do not understand why this is important at all, well, guys, the rate is the price of money, okay? The cheaper money gets out there, it's cheaper for you to borrow money from the bank. You're more inclined to do that, to, well, I don't know, invest in various things, to do up your homes, to buy something. So that basically increases this motive to purchase. Okay, and that's why rates are very important. Rates are the price of money. So he has been increasing these rates now by 75 basis points months on end. Okay, however, check out what people are saying right now, what they are forecasting. 74.7% of people, all right, 74.7% of people are anticipating the Fed to only raise rates by 50 basis points. Right? And only 25% of people are anticipating him to raise it by his usual 75 basis points. Notice how the tables have turned here. People are looking a lot more, they're looking at the Fed with a lot more optimism. Okay, so now this is a cool twist. Now, if day after tomorrow, Jay Powell comes out and says that, hey, they're only looking to increase it by 50 basis points, that too is going to be a bullish tilt for the market. Okay, that too could lead to that next trigger rally across the board. Okay, that is a bullish outlook. However, on the opposite side, if the Fed comes out and says that, hey, listen, guys, things are still not looking too pretty, and we are still going to stick to the status quo of 75 basis points. Notice how the market has not priced that in just yet. Just 25% of people think that he's going to increase it by 75 basis points. So if day after tomorrow, Jay Powell comes out and says that, hey, 75 basis points, here we go, this is the rate, we can expect markets to dump further from there. Once again, I'll anticipate this to play out to the downside. However, if he comes out with 50 basis points in addition to CPI looking great, 7.3 or lower, I will be looking for 17.3K to be taken out. At that point, I do believe it's going to be a swift rally back up to 18.7K. Notice how ever since the FTX debacle, Bitcoin has refused to penetrate 17.3K. That's just been that stubborn region of resistance that we've had overhead. So I'll be looking at 17.3K like a hawk. We take that out to the upside. I'm saying swift move back up to 18.7K. Okay, the next order block that we have overhead is actually this. And I think this too, I think honestly, it's going to be volatile for the market if we actually see bullish moves. Okay, this is actually going to be the next order block, believe it or not. Okay, I'm looking at 18.7K going all the way up to $20,000. So I'm saying be a very observant of what price action is doing right here, even if you're not in any position. Because if the bullish move actually plays out with respect to all the fundamental news pouring in, this entire range right here is a good 16% to the upside. And we all know how Bitcoin can move. When Bitcoin moves, it moves fast. Okay, especially with volatility dried down to the extent that it has dried down to, we can expect the next impulsive move. So now this is the overarching picture that you guys need to have your eyes on, including the levels. Remember, support to the downside, we're looking at this region right here, which comes in at around 16.8K. Okay, bottom of the dynamic cloud, wait on candle close. As far as resistance overhead, if we're looking for the next bullish move, 17.3K. Position according to TA, because your TA will always trump the news. Alrighty, now I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sean, of course, will be drilling down into the fundamentals a lot more, but hey, if you are missing Sean, he has posted an excellent piece on minor capitulation and why that could also be a bullish outlook for Bitcoin on the macro scale. So if you guys haven't already checked that out, I'll be linking that at the end of the video. Go ahead and check it out. And if you like this video, don't forget to smash that like button, and I will see you in the next update with this. Trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way. Ciao, you guys.